20 minutes before 7 here on the programme. Miss South Africa is taking place tomorrow night, and Palesa is out at Carnival City. That's where we're going to be seeing the pageant being held. And I must say, Miss South Africa has really delivered some of the country's most powerful and influential women during the former years, and with each of the winners going to go on to something, I suppose, successful. A lot of businesswomen have come out of this and celebrated entertainment stars as well. I mean, we even saw our former Miss South Africa, 2 years ago, being crowned Miss World. So we really have got a wonderful crop of ladies that have won the pageant. Well, let's see who wins tomorrow night. And as I say, Palesa is there, and she's got more for us. Palesa, good morning to you.
A very good morning to you once again, Leanne, and good morning to our viewers. You are right. We are still live here at Carnival City in Gauteng province. It's going to be a glamorous event tomorrow evening as the new Miss South Africa 2016 will be crowned at this very same venue. Like I promised earlier, we are going to have a conversation or a chat with some of the judges, just to take us through the processes that they go through, because what we see usually is the usual final judgment tomorrow morning, but it's a long process. It actually comes a long way. With me here is both judges, Pnina Fenster and Kojo Baffoe. Good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Thank you very much for coming through. Indeed, like I said, it's not just what we see on the last day. It is usually a long process. Take us through the process. Where does it start?
Well, I mean, the process starts usually when we do the regionals. So, we see the different young ladies from around the country. They're then shortlisted into a smaller number. We go through all of them, and then shortlisted again to the final 24, and then the 12. And then, for example, this week we've already been doing a lot of judging. So what people see in the night is the culmination of quite a few hours of interacting with and talking to and watching the young ladies.
Now, Pnina, what were you judging this week?
I'm so sorry.
What were you judging this week?
This is the final round of what, as Kojo says, what has been a long process. And I think over the months, personalities have emerged. Some of the women have become more confident. It's a wonderful thing to behold.
But as judges, what basically do you look to into a potential Miss South Africa?
It has a lot to do with personality. It has a lot to do with values. It has a lot to do with character. It has a lot to do with how they interact with other people. So yes, it's a beauty pageant in that there is the outer side of the person, but more importantly is actually who the person is, and being able to interact with and handle so many different spaces, because this country is such a diverse space, and you have to be able to put everyone you come into contact with at ease.
So, Pnina, it's not just a matter of beauty, it's a matter of beauty and brains.
It's a matter of beauty and brains, and that's what I call that X factor. And you know it. When that X factor walks into the room, everybody feels it. Coco Chanel said this wonderful thing. She said a woman needs to be two things: fabulous and classy. And that's what we're looking for, fabulous and classy.
There you have it, fabulous and classy. But now, Kojo, this is your third year in a row you've been judging.
Yes, it is. I started in 2014. Actually, when I started, Pnina was there, and then she wasn't with us last year, and she's back. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride, and also just kind of getting to know more about what happens behind the scenes. Because look, I won't lie, I also had a very kind of prejudiced view of the process. But once you start to understand what it means, once you start to understand what's looked for, then you recognize the power of it, the power of that role and the power of the space, and the power of the platform for a young woman in this country looking to build a career in whatever industry it is.
Now, once this beautiful woman takes the reign, they've got to take a lot of responsibility. They've got to make a huge difference. Do you believe the pageant on its own, it's empowering enough for young women in South Africa?
I think this is a big job. And that's often what people don't see. They see the tiara, they see the beautiful gowns. They don't realize how incredibly demanding this job, and I call it a job deliberately, is. It is a year of ongoing interaction, late nights, long hours, always having to be charming, always being in the spotlight. And then you need to use, as Kojo is saying, this is a platform that you can use to do tremendous good, to set a fantastic example, to motivate for charities. It's a wonderful, wonderful position, but I think it's like being the CEO of your own company.
Well, that's where we're going to have to leave it right now. That's Pnina Fenster and Kojo Baffoe, some of the judges for this tomorrow evening at the glamorous event here, whereby the new Miss South Africa will be crowned here. That's basically all we had for you, but I must say there is most definitely potential in our country because we know a year before last, our very own Miss South Africa was crowned Miss World, and we've also seen last week that Mrs. South Africa was also crowned Mrs. World. So there is beauty indeed plus brains in the country. That's all we have for now. We'll be back in the next hour. It's back to you, Leanne, in this.